Now that we're entering the halfway point of the preseason slash training camp portion for the Cowboys 2022 campaign, I wanted to go over some questions and opinions about certain position groups, certain players, and all that other stuff in today's video because there's a lot to cover as we reach this halfway point. You know, some player stock is up, others are down. So I feel like this is the perfect time to do it, and we kind of just see how things go from here. Now, before we go any further, first things first, if you can like the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. It takes less than a second to do, helps it perform a lot better in the algorithm, so that'd be greatly appreciated. Next, if you're new and a part of the 55 percentile that are not subscribed to this channel, I highly recommend you do become subscribed, especially if you keep coming around or you like Dallas Cowboys news and content. And finally, hit that notification bell so that you get notified by YouTube when a video comes out, because they've been acting really weird with the notifications of lately, so just keep that in mind. Now, one of my followers on Twitter linked me an article by Dan Rogers on Blogging the Boys, and it was 13 positions that raised 13 burning questions for the Cowboys. So with that, I'm going to put it on the screen right now with the power of editing, and with that, we're going to go through this entire article with the 13 positions that raised 13 burning questions for the Cowboys. Credit to Dan Rogers on Blogging the Boys for this article. Go check him out on Twitter if you want to. But with that being said, let's go ahead and go through this. So to start things off on offense, can Will Grier take the backup QB job from Cooper Rush? Will Rush have a bounce-back game? Probably. He's shown he can make plays in the past, so it would be strange if he suddenly lost his mojo. If he doesn't, though, the team still has Grier in their pocket as a potential option. Grier missed last week's game with a groin injury, but we should get a good look at him now. Now, I do think that Grier has a leg up because of the fact he hasn't played and the other options didn't really look so well. My problem is, though, is that the Cowboys really only need to see one good game from Cooper Rush to be like, all right, that's it. We got ourselves a backup quarterback. Cooper Rush is still the guy. Because they're familiar with the fact that, okay, we got this guy in Cooper Rush. He won us a game last year. Regardless of how that is, I still think that you can get a better guy. And I think Will Grier is more talented than Cooper Rush. I've said that numerous times by now. But all Will Grier has to do is have a really good outing and just hope the Cowboys aren't fully enamored with Cooper Rush, which they kind of still are. But, hey, things could happen where they're like, we don't need him anymore. Is Malik Davis better than Rico Dowdle? It's easy to be enamored by the new shiny running back toy, which is what most of us are doing after seeing former Florida running back impress last Saturday. Davis had a nice little wiggle to his game, allowing the lanes to open before showing his burst. Was that just one game, or is the undrafted free agent rookie the real deal? Can Dowdle assert himself as the team's clear number 3 running back? I think this is kind of similar to the whole Will Grier thing. It only takes one good game for Rico Dowdle to make the team. I felt like if he did not get hurt last year, he would have made the team. But Malik Davis has looked really solid in the preseason game we saw and a couple of the training camps. But it really depends on what the Cowboys are going to be looking to do with their running backs. They might just do 2. They could do 3. They don't have a fullback, I believe, on roster right now. So, I don't know. I mean, Malik Davis could make a push. He definitely can. But it's a little bit of an uphill battle, especially if the Cowboys like Rico Dowdle, which I'm hearing they do. So, yeah. Moving on to tight end, and this is one of the bigger questions on this list. Will Jake Ferguson make Dalton Schultz expendable in 2023? The rookie looked like a seasoned veteran in his first ever preseason game and was a little surprising, considering it usually takes the Cowboys' young tight ends a while to get acclimated. It's super early, but this quick start is exactly what the front office would love to see if they believe Ferguson can replicate Schultz's production for a fraction of the cost. And that's really definitely a true to that. Like, he can make him expendable, but it's a matter of if the Cowboys really like Dalton Schultz enough to be like, here's your money, right? And you heard Stephen Jones say, hey, we like Dalton because he's available, this, that, and a third. But when it comes to the price tag, you know how they can be. So if Jake Ferguson shows you glimpses of, hey, this dude can do exactly what Dalton Schultz can do, Cowboys will not even bother retaining Dalton Schultz. But if they do, let's say hypothetically they do, you have 2 solid tight ends for the future. That's just my personal opinion there. But there is a decent possibility depending on what's going on in that front office. Wide receivers, Dennis Houston good enough to make the team. The quality of quarterback play last Saturday, as well as the lack of offense in general, did nothing to validate all the great camp buzz we have been hearing about undrafted free agent wide receiver Dennis Houston. We didn't see much, but he looked sharp, a mentally sound player who has already earned the trust of the starting quarterback. Is a great way to punch your ticket onto the roster. He definitely is making a push there. And again, looking back at this wide receiving core, right? You have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. Yes, he's hurt, but he's here. You have James Washington. Then you have Jalen Tolbert. You have Simi Fehoko, Noah Brown, TJ Vasher, Dennis Houston, Brandon Smith, a couple of these other guys too. Now, with the fact that we don't know when Gallup's going to be back, and we kind of have an understanding that Washington will be back sometime in the middle of the season, he's definitely making a push for that. But if the Cowboys think that Gallup will return a lot sooner, what I think might happen is the Cowboys might go short at one position, keep Houston on the roster, and kind of just roll with that. But he did have a really damn good play in one of the camps, but he has to do very well in these preseason games, because if not, he's not making this team. But he definitely is on a better projection than TJ Vasher, which I was high on, but he hasn't been able to look flashy in the in the preseason game. So there's that. Offensive tackle, will it be an improvement at tackle? The Cowboys' overwhelming confidence in their backup tackles was not confirmed on the football field last Saturday. Josh Ball struggled quite a bit. And Avante Collins was just dreadful. I disagree. I mean, I could be looking at the wrong film and I might have seen the wrong player, but I thought Avante Collins looked fine. The team is not panicking as they did not sign a veteran free agent this week, so all we can do is cross our fingers and hope the position group magically gets better. Yeah, and I've already gone on the record and said, like, the Cowboys need to go get a veteran swing tackle. This is not something that is out of the ordinary. But at the same time, like, you definitely need to address it. If you do not get good play this go-around, you got to go get someone. I don't care who it is. Go get someone that can stand up and do their job, because the last thing I want to do is have my quarterback get hurt because your dumbasses didn't decide to go get a veteran free agent tackle. Think about it this way. You, again, regardless of how you felt on Lyle Collins, you let him go. You felt that Terrence Steele was going to be the better option. You don't add any veteran tackles in free agency. You draft one guy. You're banking on another. The one guy you drafted gets hurt and is going to be out for some time. But God damn, man, like, what the hell are we doing? So there's that. Offensive guard, should we expect Tyler Smith to be ready? The team's first-round rookie put some great reps on tape, and it's easy to feel excited about his future, but what about his now? There are some mental parts that still need work. It's fun to see him work through this in preseason action, but come the regular season, those mistakes can't be happening so frequently. Will this high upside rookie get to where he needs to be by the start of the season, or will they have to lay it up safe and go with Connor McGovern at left guard? I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Cowboys do not play Tyler Smith at left guard, they failed at the pick they made at 24. I'm just going to be completely honest with you, especially in the immediate. It's not good for a first-round pick to sit on the bench unless Connor McGovern is playing 50 times, like, if they are, like, having the same level of production, or one's playing a little bit better than the other, you got to go with the first round. You got to give them reps in there. I personally think they're just doing it because they want to give Connor McGovern as many snaps as possible when the event happens that Tyron Smith gets hurt, because I think they're going to push Tyler Smith out to left tackle. I think that's what the plan's going to be. My problem is that if we go into week 1 and Connor McGovern, your starting left guard, and Tyler Smith is on the bench, I'm going to be extremely furious at the Cowboys drafting with that pick. And I said however long ago, I said when we drafted Tyler Smith, if the guy can play guard, he's good. But another thing I said was that if he does not get playing time because he has to develop, that is an indictment on the front office not doing their job and you end up, like, you would be dumb as shit to have taken a guy that you're not going to start at one of the most important position groups on your team because you feel the other guy is better. And if he is, you got to find a way to put this son of a bitch out there. Like, I got to be honest. That's just, listen, man, if Tyler Smith is not starting, oh, we got a problem. Let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Is Terrell Basham on the verge of being cut? Last year, Basham was the only outside free agent the Cowboys signed that wasn't on a one-year deal. Basham's deal was 2 years. However, it was structured in a way where the team can release him and save $1.75 million this year. There is a logjam at the defensive line with several younger players having juniority. Couple that with the dashes of talent displayed by fellow veteran edge rusher Dante Fowler, and Basham's job security is not questioned. I think Basham's job is in serious jeopardy because Sam Williams is being there. Dante Fowler was just brought in. And keep in mind, Terrell Basham's on one more year, of a contract. So it's not like he's tied to the hip with the Cowboys here. You also have to, factor in Dorrance Armstrong is now back. You got Chauncey Goldstein getting better. So Terrell Basham could be gone. And it's because of that logjam, as mentioned. Defensive tackle, can Quentin Bohana be the team's starting nose tackle? I don't think he will be, but let's listen. The Kentucky big man never offered much as a pass rusher, which is why he dropped in last year's draft, but he's putting all his positive traits on display. His power, his length, and his willingness to sacrifice himself for the greater good are all visible. Bohana is showing signs of making a nice step forward and being a real force for the Cowboys' interior defensive line. I think he's making a push to make the rotation, but I still believe that it's going to most likely be between Gallimore and Osa Odigizua. I think that it's one of those two, and it's probably going to be Gallimore because hearing he's getting a lot of those reps at nose tackle. But then again, the Cowboys always do this rotation, so just because you're a starter doesn't mean you're going to get a shitload of those snaps. Then again, we'll see if things change this year. Linebacker, which one of the new linebackers can sneak on the roster? With the addition of Anthony Barr, the Cowboys have a solid linebacking group that features Barr, Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, who, by the way, Leighton has been doing phenomenal in the training camps and stuff like that. And if he is even 50% of what he was in 2018, I think the Cowboys are just fine. And eventually Jabril Cox, and then more eventually, Damone Clark. Luke Gifford was out of action last week as he recovers from a groin injury, and that leaves the door slightly open for rookie Devontae Harper or free agent signee Malik Jefferson to earn a roster spot. Don't sleep on undrafted free agent rookie Story Jackson as he was making as many plays as the next guy. I don't know if you have a favorite from this group, but this battle should be fun to watch over the final two preseason games. Me personally, I think Devin Harper looks to be in the running to still make the roster. I think out of the three in Malik Jefferson and Jackson, he played the best. I always felt like Malik Jefferson was just kind of like a camp body, or at worst he'll just be a rotational guy. But there's that. I mean, Anthony Barr kind of throws a wrench into everybody else on the roster for this particular season. But odds are they might, if they go with Malik Jefferson, they might cut Devin Harper and try to put him on the practice squad. But I'm not sure if he'll make it. So let's go to cornerback. Can last year's draft pick save face? It's disappointing to see last year's day 2 cornerback selections, Kelvin Joseph and Nahshon Wright, not playing to the level we'd hope, but both got plenty of action last Saturday and both surrendered a touchdown catch. The good news in this year's rookie corner, Deron Bland, he's looked pretty good in his first game of action, but it would be real nice if one of the other guys play. And that is exactly what I said in my previous video, is that with you having a situation where one of your main guys is hurt, you need to have one of these two guys show up and show out. Because if Anthony Brown gets hurt, you're kind of like, well, shit, what do we do if these guys aren't playing up to par? Now, again, they're young, but this kind of falls on Quinn. Like, Quinn isn't perfect, but you kind of had to look at it this way. If you can't get these guys to develop, that's on you. That Nahshon Wright pick, you better hope that it turns into like, okay, you got a decent corner, because if not, you had a lot of more options there. So there's that. Safety, 4 players fighting for 2 spots. Who gets it? Jaron Curse and Malik Hooker. How many Maliks do we have on this team? Hold down the starting safety jobs, but then what? Donovan Wilson, Israel Mukamu, Marquise Bell, and Tyler Coyle are all fighting for one of the backup spots. Each of them has their own unique ability, and it's anyone's guess how this position group will shake out. Well, first off, you already have your 2 starting solid safeties in Curse and Hooker. Cool, you got that. I think for your backups, it's probably going to be Wilson and Israel. I definitely could see that happening. But Marquise Bell has definitely been making a push. Tyler Coyle, he's been looking meh. But I think that it's really a battle between Israel and Marquise. Whoever comes out of that will make the roster. Moving on to special teams. Kicker, who will win the kicking job? Hyralahu and Maher and Hyralahu. We haven't been this befuddled about an NFL kicker since Finkel and Heinhorn. And just like then, this remains a huge mystery, and all we can do is wait for the big reveal to come. Final roster. I personally think Maher is probably going to win the job. I mean, like, unless Hyralahu does well, I think the Cowboys are just going to go with what they know, but this is going to bite them in the ass, I feel. Like, sure, Maher did better in New Orleans, but to bring back a guy that you cut because you saw what happened, that doesn't really bode well. I mean, you might as well have brought back Dan Bailey, if I'm being completely honest with you. But we'll see. I think Maher is going to win the job. That's just my personal opinion. But And kick returner, is Kevontae Turpin fast enough to make a difference? We were a little disappointed that the reigning USFL MVP didn't get loose on Saturday. I guess everyone in the NFL is fast. Turpin wasn't able to find enough space to showcase his outstanding speed, but he'll get more opportunities. The question is, can you make them count? I don't think he was told to try in the kick return game, and it's just probably because of the fact that, dude, it's preseason. You're not going to see a whole lot of this kick return action because, you know, unless you have like a clear open lane like we saw years ago with Lucky Whitehead, you're not going to try that shit. I'm going to just be real with you. I think that I would probably be more concerned about, like, okay, how's Turpin going to react? How is he going to adapt to the NFL? But you do have a guy in Tony Pollard who's good with kick returns and punt returns. You have Kevontae Turpin, who did very well in the USFL, but again, we're talking about the NFL. But there's that. I think that he will be just fine. Now, that covers everything in this little longer video that we have here today. So before you go, thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. That is greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell and leave a like as well. Comment how you feel below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day.